All right, we're recording, Nance.
Christina, thank you for volunteering to help us this morning.
Yeah, we're all excited. I know we have a lot of people jumping on just because of the topic, which is, it's virtual freezer meal workshops.
Yep, not new, but just a new way to deliver, I guess. So my name's Christina. I started doing virtual freezer meal workshops in January. And this was born out of necessity. It's not a new idea. It just, it was something that I had tapped out my warm market so many times that I had no parties walking into January. None. I couldn't get a single party. And so I had done all the things. I had tried the and method and I just could not get a single party. And I thought, okay, what is going on? And when I really started looking at why was I not getting a party, I was getting one objection over and over and over again. I recently hosted a party. I've been in 8 to 10 parties. I already have a Pampered Chef consultant. And I was like, okay, so this is a new obstacle that I have to figure out how to overcome, right? And so I started thinking, what can I do that they're not already seeing, because they've already been in a party, they already have a consultant. So what can I do that nobody else is offering that is going to offer them value, that is going to make them want to see what I have to offer them? And so I started thinking about these freezer meal workshops because people were missing that interaction that they were getting from other people. And you're hearing about Zoom parties and how they're working, and they weren't working for me. But I thought, well, this might be the best of both worlds. And so I put a tester out there on Instagram. And I did like a little poll and I just said, hey guys, if you could attend a virtual freezer meal workshop, would you? And then I also put that on my Facebook, and I had a group of people who said, yeah, absolutely would. And so I messaged each of those people, just like they'd already said, I want to come to your virtual freezer meal workshop. And I said, awesome, I'm hosting a virtual freezer meal workshop. This is the date I'm offering. I'm going to send you the package that you need to order to be a part of it. Are you in? And they were like, yeah, I'm in. They didn't even know. Honest to goodness, I didn't even know what I was doing. It was just like, I'm just trying to find you people, right? And so from that point, I went out on the web and started kind of freaking out. Like, I don't know how to do a virtual freezer meal workshop. So I Googled how to do a virtual freezer meal workshop. And I found all of these in-home freezer meal workshops. And then what I kind of pulled to was Pampered Chef's old information. It's from 2014 of actual freezer meal workshops in the home. And I'll link those out in the chat when we're done with this so that you guys can grab them if you want. But my whole basis is don't reinvent the wheel. If it works, it works. We just need to figure out how to make it work with our new platforms, right? So I went out and I grabbed, I think there's up to 8 menus. I grabbed the first 4. And I took the very first one and went through all the information. I checked the spices. I'm like, yep, we still have all of these pantry products. I looked over the recipes. The only product that we didn't have that was a part of this was the veggie wedger, which is no big deal. I can work around that. And so I just created the documents to send these girls. And so I sent each of them a image that had a picture of the spice with the item number and a party link. And I said, this is where you're going to order your pantry items. I need you to get these ASAP so they arrive at your house in time for our freezer meal workshop. Once you order them, I'm going to give you the next bit of information you need. And so as soon as their order came in, I sent them, I started out on Evernote. I've evolved on that because I found not a lot of people, it didn't work for them. But I would send them an Evernote link and it would have all the recipes, all the instructions for the day of prep, all the instructions for the day that they unfreeze their meals and cook them, their grocery shopping list, everything was right in there in Evernote, sent that to them. The first couple workshops I did, I also tried to snail mail them a packet that had a catalog with information on different parties that I offered. And what I found was people weren't getting them until a month later. It was taking the post office so long for them to get their information. And I was having to mail it several times that I don't even mail it to them now. I won't. It doesn't make sense for me. So now what I have is I just have a website that I already had, and I made a page that has all the information that I link them to that page so they can print the info out. So we went from my very first workshop was there were 4 girls that attended. It was a $267 party. So I was like, woo, it qualified, yay, right? And I took that information and just kind of built on it and evolved this a bit. I now am booking out 2 freezer meal workshops a month for hosts specifically. And then I have a freezer meal workshop club. And this is a group of girls who have been at every freezer meal workshop who have agreed that what they want to do is they rotate who the host is. And each month I pick a menu and give them that host link. They order from it. That host automatically earns the rewards each month. So, so there's that. That's a whole side gig for you all. So the first one was $267. And I thought all I did was put a Zoom link out there. I went and bought the food. I made the food with them. I prepped with them. They had fun. And what really brought them in was that they got to spend time with other people, even though they couldn't go out. We're in Michigan. We couldn't go out. We couldn't go to a restaurant. We couldn't go anywhere. And these people are really just looking for that connection with another person. So then I got thinking, okay, how do I make this better? There's got to be a way to make it better. And so what I've started doing now is I actually run a party, a virtual party on them in a Facebook group where it's my regular party template, but instead of the regular games, I've thrown in freezer meal trivia, like questions like, is it safe to freeze fruit kind of thing, that kind of stuff. And what I found is now I have people that are their friends and family. These are hosts who would not run a party with me before, that are coming and they're ordering products from their party. Some of them are doing both the freezer meal, both the party. Some are just doing the party. Some are just ordering the freezer meal stuff. So we've gone from, well, my last freezer meal workshop that I closed was $810. So I was excited over that. It was a lot of growth. So the question, I guess, is how do you put this together and how do you make it valuable for you? So I'm going to say 2 things. One is if you have a solid virtual schedule with parties, this is probably not for you. Okay. If you have a solid virtual party schedule, you probably are not going to have time to do this. But if you don't, then absolutely integrate this into your system. If you are a person who misses cooking parties, this is something for you because it kind of replaces that feeling that you get when you go into a host's house and you cook for their friends when you go in their home. This has kind of replaced that for me. So if you're looking to do something like that, but you can't locally go into homes yet because of COVID, then this is something for you. So, so the way that to get it started is 1, find out is there interest. And I did that with my Instagram, with my Facebook. Once you find that interest on that first party, it will roll. I have freezer meal workshops booked through May right now. And I have people asking for more dates. This is why I say if you have a full virtual schedule, not to integrate this, because it does take 4 to 6 hours out of a day when I do one of these, because you are in front of Zoom and you're prepping 7 meals and it's like, think when you were doing cooking, if you were here when there were cooking parties and you did a freezer meal workshop, it's basically that, but it's just you. So instead of having everybody's mess, you just have yours. So you still have to prep before, you still have to clean up after. So it is time consuming. But it's definitely something to pop in there if you need that extra boost. It really isn't hard to put it all together though. All the information is out there. All of the menus are out there that I utilize on the Pampered Chef site. I already use my regular party template for this, so it's not something that I had to recreate. So I guess that's it in a nutshell. What kind of
Well,
question?
let me ask you a question. So the only people that get the link are the ones that prepay.
Yes.
So is that a separate group every time?
No. So what I'm running is just like when you build your virtual party group, as soon as the host says, yes, I want to do this, I build them a virtual party group and I run a party on them right away. And the reason I'm doing this right away is because we kind of got a little behind on our shipping there in January with all these electronics, right? So one of my workshops, I actually had to bump the date because everybody didn't get their stuff in time because of our shipping. So as soon as they say yes, I'm booking them a month in advance. I run that party right away. I run it as a virtual party, and I'm in that party throughout saying, you know, this is a 2-for-1 party, you guys. We're running a regular virtual party, but we're also going to have a great time where we can come together, we can prep food together, we can have a great time doing this together, and it's going to fill your freezer full of food. So if you're in on that, make sure you get these pantry products on your order. And once you order, then you're going to get this link that's going to give you all the information, your Zoom link for the party, your recipes, your grocery shopping list, all of that. They only get that link if they order the pantry products.
So you're private messaging them that.
Yes, I'm private messaging them that link once they order those pantry products. If they don't order the pantry products, I've had a few people who have come to me and said, I love Pampered Chef and I already own those spices. Do I have to reorder them again? And so my answer to them has been this: you don't have to reorder the spices. I would like you to check to make sure that you have enough to cover these recipes, and I'll work with them to make sure they have enough. And I need for you to have a $50 buy-in on something else if you're not going to buy those spices.
So
So
it's $50.
Yep. So, and one of the sheets that I give them in my information is a recommendation for products to purchase. These are going to be products that I'm going to use to prep food in this virtual meal workshop. So, make sure if you want something, if we're doing burger, I'm doing the mix and chop. If we're, the food choppers in all of them, right? The flexible mats. So that's part of the whole process too, is we're trying to get them to order $80, $150. So I remind them, you're already ordering these pantry products. Let's get these are my 3 top tools that you'll need for the workshop, that you'll want for the workshop. They're not required, but when you order them, it gets you to the $80, and then you're going to get a free gift. And why stop there? Let's get free shipping. And so these are the next level of tools that I would recommend. And that has really boosted the sales in these.
So
I'm
you're
trying to
putting
do
that in the group. Is that what you're putting those extra posts in there?
Yep, I'm putting
Wow.
those extra posts right in that party group.
Okay.
So I'm really trying to get all of the host friends to want to be a part of the freezer meal workshop. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm already going to be there, so I might as well get more people buying those spices, and then they fall in love with the meals, and they're going to buy the spices to do them again, right? And then they're going to come to you to get them. They're not going to just go out on Pampered Chef to get them. So
Are you holding all the orders? Are
No.
you holding them? Because then what if somebody said, well, then they'll just reorder again if they want to order a product or whatever.
Right. So a lot of the party is kind of preloaded. When it comes to the workshop, I preload every single piece of requirement for the virtual meal workshop, freezer meal workshop, into the party. So when they get in there, instead of seeing a post that says, welcome to the party, order early bird, something like that, they're instantly seeing a post that says, welcome to our Pampered Chef freezer meal workshop party. In order to participate in the freezer meal side of this party, you will need these pantry products. Then, and it's all visual. It's all pictures. There's a picture that shows the spices.
Would you screen share that? Can you screen share one of your parties for us?
Yeah,
That would
let
be
me
great. I
pop one
gave you should already be able to do that, but.
Let me pop them up.
So are you keeping the party open till after?
I do. Yep, I do. And so these parties are open for a long time, because you have people that get in there and they order right away. And then you also have people that they really don't want to participate in the freezer meal workshop. They, oh goodness, let's see.
But then after the freezer meal workshop is done, they're
Coming in and they're
more
ordering
things.
stuff. Yeah, because I treat it like a regular party, where when we get to the end of this, once they've done that freezer meal workshop, a lot of them will see those products in action and they're like, oh, I really wish I would have bought that. And I can be like, well, you still can. The link is still open. On my first couple workshops, I actually offered out the ability for a discount for those people. If you were in the freezer meal workshop and you ordered by this date, I gave them personally 10% off. I haven't been doing that because I haven't needed to since. So can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what they see when they pop in. You're seeing my view, not theirs really, but I put the person in their freezer meal workshop, and then this is their very first post that they see. So I give them the party link right in the post. I remind them about ordering $80 and $150. Welcome them. I tell them our menu. I tell them our spices that they need. And then I give them the list for their freezer meal workshop, and I make this an announcement. So it's, my understanding is it stays at the top for them to see when they come in. So that's the main stuff. Now, I also tell them in here that they can check back that this is not just for a freezer meal, that they can come back. This kind of goes back to what you guys were talking about before I started talking about freezer meal workshops. I also tell the host, tag people. I have had the worst engagement and the worst luck with Facebook right now, but if the host tags people, suddenly they buy, suddenly they join. That's, you know, that's suddenly what they do. So, and then I also just kind of, I mean, I have the regular games in here, the regular, trying to get them to recruit, trying to get them to book parties, all the regular stuff. So it's just, it's not anything new. It's really just a way to get them excited and feeling like they're receiving value when they weren't before, or different from what other people are offering, if that makes sense.
So
So
are you,
tell us about the Zoom night when you're
Yeah.
actually doing,
and
so,
you're not living that, you're not making that live in the group?
I can't actually, you guys, I don't know why, but Facebook will not allow me to go live at all. Every time I've tried to go live, I get blocked out of my account and I have to go try to recoup my account. I have to change my passwords. I have to go through and answer questions. So I can't even go live on Facebook.
What about on your business page?
No,
Go on-
nowhere.
Not even through your business page. You
No.
can't go live.
Nope, I can't go live anywhere. So what I do when I do the Zoom workshop, because not everybody can be there live for the actual workshop, is I record it just like you guys record the meetings. And then afterwards, whether they were on the call or whether they were just bought the pantry products, everybody gets a link to that. I put it on my YouTube and I make it a link that it's a video that you can only see if you have a link. And I send them that link so that they can go back and watch it if they want to. So,
What I love about this too is the fact that you're, like someone mentioned in the chat, you're prepping for your family,
yes.
but this would be tax deductible. That food would be
Yeah.
tax deductible because you're doing instruction meeting with it.
It is. And my
That is
husband
very
is
smart.
my husband is a numbers guy. He actually comes from an accounting background. And he said to me, he goes, I love this because you don't have to, he's like, when you did a cooking party, you had to pack all your stuff, leave the house. You were gone 4 to 6 hours. You came home, you still had to clean. He's like, this actually takes less time and you're making food for our family. So,
And it's tax deductible.
and it's, yeah,
Our food is tax deductible.
all
That's
of it.
huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you must have lots of meals because you're doing this. If you're doing it like twice a month, you are like, are you doing the 10 meals or the 7 meals?
I do 7 meals.
Okay.
Yep.
And are
I'm
they
doing 7
different
meals.
every time?
So basically 14 meals a month is what's going in my freezer right now.
Great. Oh, yeah, that's
But we've also learned, like, my family does not like any of the lemon flavor in chicken. So every time I make that meal, it goes to somebody else now. It becomes a gift to somebody else.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
I love that. Yeah. So how do you pick the meals that you do? Is it based on what the host wants, or is it based on just what is part of that?
I took the first 4 menus off of the links and I'll put those in the chat when we're done. And I created the graphics for them. And so I have a few girls who have been in every single workshop, and they've said we're good rotating through these 4 menus because for them, they basically are using them throughout the months. So they're like, it's fine to rotate through that. You figure you have meals that people eat every single week anyways, right?
Right.
So I have 4 menus, and what I'll do is I'll say, so like somebody books off another one, then I say, okay, so this is the menu we made. These are my other 3 menus, and I'll let them pick the menu. But once they pick, I've had a few people who are like, well, I really, really wanted February. And I'm like, well, I'm all booked up for February. If my other host doesn't mind and you guys want to share a Zoom, then we can, and you use the same menu, then we can go ahead and book you for February. I don't mind running another virtual party, but I can only put so many meals in my freezer, and they understand that. And so I have had a couple of people who have said, yeah, go ahead and book me for that same Sunday or whatever.
They're not in the same group, so it's not like a block.
Right.
It winds up to be that they're 2 separate groups, but you are giving all of both groups the same Zoom link.
The same Zoom link. So they come prepare on the same day, the same time, which saves me time in the long run. But they have their own party group. I don't run it like a block party.
Okay. Okay, I love that. Meals,
Sure.
Zoom, okay, so
So
then.
you give them grocery lists, you give them,
Yep, yep.
And the
So
content list.
here, I'll pull this up and show you guys.
So you found the Pampered Chef recipes from 2014 when you Googled?
Yep, and I'll tell you guys, I think this is actually Canadian stuff, if I'm being honest. Because the prices, when I looked at them, I'm like, that's not right. So I'm pretty sure these are maybe Canadian workshops, but it works for me. So this is what I pull up, and this is the first menu link I'll show you guys. And it's very organized. It goes through, it says the recipe. It'll tell you how they recommend to cook, the Pampered Chef, the seasonings that we need. The next one is like a welcome letter to the host. And this is made for cooking, but I just rewrote it to be for virtual. And I like to tell them, I can't wait to see you. And they think that's hilarious, and that's fine. So then it'll go through and it tells them, boom, boom, boom. Let's get through those two. Here we go. These are the grocery items to bring to the workshop. And they pre-prep their meat, label it, and it'll tell them everything, your freezer bags that you want. Everything's divided by meat, by the section of the store, frozen, dairy, dry goods, produce, and then your Pampered Chef pantry items. So that's what they need for the day of the workshop. The next one is, these are things you're going to need for the day of prepping. You don't need these at the workshop. You can buy these later. And then it goes through, and each of them have your instructions per, here, I can try to make this, well, you guys probably see it all.
if you can make your screen bigger, it'll show more of it.
It'll show more of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of, if I make it bigger, it goes away on me.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it is doing the same, Nancy. Yeah, it's doing the same. Like it goes, the bigger the screen, but it shows less of the words.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll say like the first recipe is the barbecue sloppy joes. And like I said, the veggie wedger is not here anymore. So I just took this and rewrote it and saved it in my own document. But it gives through, these are the instructions for this particular recipe on the day of prep. And then it tells you these are the groceries. And I don't think I have them out here. Actually, I do. Hold on one second.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
I went to the dollar store and bought these. They work for me. Some of my girls that are doing freezer meal workshops went on Amazon and they bought, there's actually a thing that holds the Ziplocs up. I bought these little organizers. And what I found is when I take this actual page that has the recipes, the instructions, and all of the tools, I divide it out, each recipe, into its own little thing, so that as I'm prepping, I pull one basket over onto my island. And then when I'm done, I move it off. And then I pull the next one over because I only have so much space, right? So it keeps it all, that has kept it moving a little faster and organized. So you'll go through, you'll see.
We used to do it, one side of a cookie sheet was one and the other side was another meal. And so we had our cookie sheet set out and organized.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
How
So, yeah,
long
you'll-
does it, oh, go ahead, Christine.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask how long is your video then to put all these 7 meals?
So and this is when I'm saying to you guys, like, really look at, if you have a full schedule, you don't want to implement this. A Zoom call to do this is on average 2 hours. If you have very chatty people in the group, you're looking at 2.5, 3 hours. But if you don't have chatty people, it's 2 hours.
Okay.
So, and that's just the Zoom portion. That's just the prepping portion. That's not your prep, you preparing your space and you cleaning your space up. That's just being in front of those people. Once you get through these, get down to the bottom, here we go. Then it has the pages that you actually cut. They cut because they print them on their own, and they put these in the Ziplocs so that they can then prepare the meals on the day that they're ready to eat them. And then here they have the wish list of the different products that you're going to use with the pages, how much they cost. You would have to fix this, guys, because this is not up
Yeah,
to date.
the
It's
menu
not
on Canada, right?
right. And then here I can put this one in there as well, the big chill and the big thaw, so that they have information on how to safely freeze and safely thaw. And then this one is a tip for how to utilize all of your spices that are left over. So party dips, that kind of thing. So
Oh.
I wonder how we could incorporate this in a couple of months of, I mean, you could really, really promote the taste buds through this.
Yeah. So that's where with my my monthly group of girls, we've also started doing that with the taste buds. I'm like, when you guys go ahead and register for taste buds, then you can start doing some of these recipes that come from the taste buds with me. So that's been a talk, is how to do that, like a mini workshop with just those spices that come through. Haven't actually gotten further on that except for the idea of it, but yeah.
Do you
Cool.
find that everybody participates, or do you think they come on the Zoom, but they actually don't put the meal? I mean, that's a great thing to actually, you know, to
Yeah,
save that time.
most of them do. I have had a handful, I think probably one person in each of the Zooms who they just sit and watch the Zoom. They don't want to prep the food with
Okay.
you. They don't want to be in their kitchen doing it. They just sit and watch and talk to people. And if that's what they need, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
No, I
So,
love
so I have a question. When you chop the onion, do you say, okay, everybody chop? You know, I mean, because it's gonna be loud and noisy and all that kind of stuff. Is that what you do?
They're mostly all muted throughout, and then I have them unmute if they have a question, if they want to stop me to, and then every so often, I do just like I'm doing a cooking show. When I'm doing the chopping of the onion, I talk to them about how usually when I'm chopping like this, don't be surprised if my husband comes downstairs wondering what I'm banging on, or, kind of thing. I try to have that humor with them like I would in a cooking show. But I'll stop every so often and say, okay, guys, how are you doing? Do you have any questions for me? Are we all at the same spot? Do you need me to slow down, speed up? Most of the time they're further ahead than I am because they're not chatting about the products. I'm chatting about the products. So that kind of keeps me going slower. So, but there have been husbands, like you see some of these Zoom things with the kids doing school where the dads are like dancing and stuff. There have been husbands that come into the Zooms and they like will throw an apron on and move the wife over and they'll start cooking and wait for you to notice. And they just really have a good time with it. So, but my biggest thing is it saved my January. So, and allowed me to then book more. And I've had people, they don't always book a freezer meal workshop off a freezer meal workshop. Sometimes they're booking a virtual party because they don't want to do the Zoom part of it, but they start to see the value in the products and they're like, yes, like I want a party, I want to earn some free. So that's what they'll book.
So you weren't doing any Zoom before that. You were not doing any of the Zoom parties. This threw you into the Zoom with
this the end of the Zoom. I tried to market out the Zoom and I just wasn't getting any takers on it. It wasn't until I could offer them something they found valuable of when you buy these spices and do this workshop, you're going to have 7 meals in your freezer, that they were like, oh, I could do that.
Okay.
So.
And you promoted that on your personal wall?
Personal and business. I did my Instagram and I did my personal Facebook feed and I did my business feed as well.
Okay.
And what I did was I threw a poll out there. And as soon as somebody said yes, I sent them that message that said, awesome, I'm running one. Are you in? Here's the information. I just kind of treated it like they said, yeah, I want to do that.
And so you gave them the information, the cost, the link of the party and what they needed to purchase from you and the grocery list, or no, not the grocery list.
Not the grocery list. Yep. I gave them the pantry products for the menu for that month. I gave them the date, the pantry products, and the link to order.
Okay. And what was your timing on when do you do this? Because it's like, do you do it like people working? Do you do it on a Saturday? Do you do it at later?
I found Sundays at 2 p.m. work the best.
Okay.
That's what's worked the best. I have done a Saturday for somebody before, and that worked out fine, but I don't want to give away all of my weekends. So that's why I say I do 2 a month now. And it's, usually it's 2 Sundays and I'll kind of like stagger my weeks. Be like week 2, week 4. I look at what my family's schedule is and pick what weeks are available. Just like when we did cooking shows and we'd look at our schedule and say, these are the dates I'm available. That's kind of what I did, was I looked to see when am I available. And yeah.
Wow.
But you could totally, everybody could do it however works for them. Take the idea of it and make it what's going to work for you. Like we always say, authentic content, you can do that. You can make this what's going to work for you. So
Awesome.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I don't have any more, but maybe we have some other questions. Does anybody else have any other questions? This is really good. Does anybody else?
I know that Samantha Thomas is on here, and I think
Yeah.
Kim Gant was, and I think they
Yeah.
both do freezer meal workshops as well. So I'm just wondering if either one of them want to pop in, or anybody else that,
Kim Gant said she has a freezer meal workshop coordinator on her team who worked up the menus for us every month and loved doing it. We are totally offering this virtually again. Thanks for the reminder of how successful these can be. So yeah, that's really good. Kim, I don't know if you want to go live or can you talk?
Yeah, I can talk.
do
I
you
just,
want
you know,
to, wait, let's take Christina off spotlight so that we
Well,
can.
we can do both. I mean,
Yeah, we can do
gotta
both.
find her.
Yep.
We can do both. Let's just find her. Keep talking.
okay.
Oh, there she is. There she is. There she is.
This is,
Yay.
thank- hey,
Hey,
thanks for the reminder, Christina, because we used to do this way before COVID. And it was a great way for us to get team members who maybe, you know, were not really active in their business, those social people, you know, they would have that faithful group of people that would come, and we did it at my church because we had big 6-foot tables and we could all spread out. And we are very lucky because we have a lady on our team who loves freezer meal workshops. I mean, she loves it. And she coordinated everything every single time we did it. And I've been chatting
Maybe
with
we
one of
can-
my directors, and she said, oh yeah, she would be all about us doing it virtually.
hey, Kim, maybe we can just pay her to do that.
Yeah.
Like
I
that?
could.
No, I
It
could.
would totally be worth it to pay her to do it. She just is phenomenal, and she loves doing it and organizing everything for us. So it wasn't any more work for me.
No,
I
what I'm
just had
saying
to
is
pay-
I can pay her, not you pay her. I can pay her so she could do it for all the group. You
Oh,
like that?
So is
You
it, does
know
she
what?
create new freezer meal? Does she create a new weekly menu? Is that what she does?
no, it was a monthly thing for us. We did
Okay.
it once a month.
And she would create a whole new,
So Jenna's
whatever.
on the call.
And we could
Yeah,
ask
Jenna,
her
her
and
director Jenna is on the call now, and I bet Jenna could talk to her about it to see if she would be interested in doing that for the Ryan organization. I
yep,
bet she
I'll-
would.
and I'll pay. I'll pay, Kiki. I'll pay.
Christine Hensley, she is fabulous. She is fabulous.
And then we could, what I really love about how you're doing it, Christina, too, is the fact that it's almost a month before you actually do the freezer meal workshop. So they can shop sales, they can, you know, get their chicken on sale one week, their beef another week, whatever it is. So they could really use their grocery shopping, you know, wisely too. So instead of,
Yeah.
you know.
And I don't know about you guys, but I found when I tend to sell stuff when I show stuff. So the close and cut, my sales on the close and cut has gone up because when they're prepping their meats and I'm prepping my meat ahead of time, at that point, I was still able to go live. I would go live out in the shop, in the party, and I would say, hey guys, this is how I prep my meat. If it says chicken tenderloin, I don't buy that because I'm not paying $5.29 a pound for that. I buy chicken breast. I use my close and cut. And when they see it in action, they're like, oh my goodness, like I want that, right? So what you show is what you sell. It gives them that time to see that whole process of what you're doing and want it even more.
And the quick slice, I think, would work
Yes.
as they absolutely have to have the quick slice when they see it in action.
Yes, agreed.
So that's great that you're doing those videos in the group, and that's kind of like the prep work. So they're seeing all of that. So that's really good. I love that. Okay. Yeah.
So Kim, when you did it, was it during COVID or pre-COVID?
Pre-COVID,
Okay. All right. And it was successful for your team?
it was really successful. There were some times we would have, 30 people in there
Wow.
because we did it organization wide, and the local we had a lot of local people, and my church is pretty centrally located. But I just it's just something old that we can make new again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a question here from Debbie. How does the host get her pantry items if you hold the party open?
I ask my host to order them under her husband's name, her child's name, to order them under another person's name as a guest order and tell her that will go towards her rewards, but that she needs to do that to get them in time. If she
Okay.
orders as a host, she wouldn't get them in time.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That makes
I
sense.
do that. And then I did see a comment in here about offering these without having to do the Zoom. And that is something I've offered, but I haven't had someone jump on yet. I call it Freezer Meal Workshop to go.
Oh.
And where they can pick their menu and they order the stuff and I'll send it to them. And they just run it on their own. But I have not had any bites on that one yet. So that's something that definitely, if somebody figures a way out, let me know, because I will be on board.
But they don't get the additional, like the pre-prep, like all of those.
They're not getting the interaction, I think.
Right.
Is
Right.
why I haven't had any biters on that yet. But I think once we're like a whole world of genius women. So once one of us genius women figures out how to make it valuable to somebody
Yeah.
and get them to bite, now we can make it valuable to everybody and get them to bite. So yeah, that's
Christina, there was a question in here from Shan about your timeline.
uh-huh.
So people are trying to wrap around, I bite that I want to be a part of it. I want to do it. Obviously with direct ship now, people are buying their spices. They're not necessarily upselling their order quite yet, or maybe, but then this party is open online on Facebook for how, a month?
Right now it's been about a month. Before I was looking at 2 weeks, but once we kind of hit that little shipping snafu in January, I built it out to be a month because I didn't want to run into people not getting their spices in time, because not everybody is ordering those day one. You're getting people in the party and they're not necessarily seeing the value yet. You have to get them to buy in. So not everybody's ordering them on day one. When I first started these and it was just a freezer meal workshop, it was literally order your spices, get them in right away. Within 2 weeks we're running with this, but the amount of that party was $267. The next one was $423. And I was going, I'm putting a lot of time and work in this. How can I really maximize my dollars? And it's helped to be able to turn it into a virtual party / freezer meal workshop. So in that sense, you have to remember, you're not just marketing out the freezer meal workshop, you're running a virtual party, you're marketing to everybody about Pampered Chef products, but you're still trying to talk every single one of those people into coming to the workshop if possible.
So let me ask you this. Could you run a 7-day or a 5-day virtual party and say, wait to put your order until the end and till the end of the party, and then run your freezer meal part 2 weeks later?
You absolutely could. I haven't tried it yet just because my fear was Facebook with the groups, with the algorithms, with people seeing everything. But if they're seeing the whole party first, I don't see a reason why not, because they're not going to need to be in that group really for the workshop part. So
then you could do the essential kitchen tool package of the chopper, the close and cut, the quick slice, a good knife, the mats, the spices. So you could say, if you don't have these products, this is your essential kitchen tool package for ongoing. And then you could have some alternates if they don't have, if they have some of those products already. Here's the next set I would add to your kitchen, garlic press, and then say, you'll want to order within 7 days, so you'll have your products by the time we run this 2 weeks from now. Now you have 2 weeks to shop and get everything ready, and we'll see you 2 weeks from Sunday, and then they're putting in one order, and hopefully their orders over $150 for free shipping. They get the free gift. So then there's no angst about the second order, right? I'm just brainstorming here.
No, I love that. I will say you do have a second round so the customer care follow-up is a little bit different with this, because when it looks at the recipes, these recipes are made to be prepared in Pampered Chef. So if they don't have a rock crock, I'm finding that they'll contact me back and be like, I don't know how to make this. And so it creates a bit of trust with your customer because you're like, oh yeah, you don't have to have a rock crock. It's better if you do. It's easier if you do, but go ahead, you know, or you don't need the skillet. Just take the frying pan that you have already, and this is what you do. But it creates that desire for the rock crock, for our skillet, and that trust in you as their Pampered Chef consultant that you can easily tell them a different way to prepare the meal. So,
And then follow it up with at the show. If you don't have some of these products that you've seen me use tonight, that's a perfect way to get them into your kitchen by hosting your own party with your friends and family, and let me help you equip your kitchen.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is
Awesome.
great. I'm excited.
So we had a question, I think Jamie also, I don't know, Jamie, I don't think, did she post the question, Marie, or she just has a question? Jamie, are you there? You want to come live?
Hey there, good morning. I think my question was answered. I was
Oh.
confused a little bit about the timing of when you actually start your first post in the group to when the actual freezer meal Zoom party happens. But I'm sort of gathering that's about 2 weeks or so. Is that correct, Christina?
Yeah, the minimum is 2 weeks. The maximum has been 4 weeks now.
Okay.
And that 4 week time frame came about because it was kind of earlier in the trials of this, but we our shipping with the company got delayed by like 12 days. And so people weren't getting all of their stuff. Now, I thought pantry products were like shipped out right away because they're a food, but I was not seeing that the actual processing of those happen. So we ended up delaying and changing her date. So her party just stayed open longer. And it was kind of born out of, there wasn't a harm in it staying open longer versus closing it now. So,
Right.
yeah.
They
Thank
just,
you.
Kim said that she has our girl Christine Hensley on. All right.
Then, yay.
So awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for what
Oh.
you've shared with us.
I know, this is
So
great.
let's I love the brainstorming side of this where we just, somebody's doing this and somebody's doing this, and we all
Yeah.
come together and work together, and if we can make it so that everybody doesn't have to do all the same stuff and work the same things, wouldn't that be a blessing? You know, we could just execute.
I
Right?
see a question, Nancy, in the chat about how do you deal with the grated cheese with no grater, since the freezer meals use a lot of grated cheese. Guys, I have been doing the whole find a solution somewhere else. If you can't buy a grater, then buy the veggie strip maker. And if you can't buy the veggie strip maker, I'm looking at what do I have that can grate that's not a grater to sell them that. So it might not be the perfect solution, but to me it has worked. So
We do have our prep thing. Does that,
the
would
quick
that work?
prep. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
the quick
Yeah, I haven't pulled it out and shown it, but I
Yeah.
did a Marie Kondo on my pantry this weekend, and I kind of moved that towards the front of my stuff. Like I probably should start showing this one, right?
Yeah.
But
The other thing is that our new Zester citrus thing, it has the zester, so it is great for cheese. One of my other
For
friends
Parmesan.
for the Parmesan cheese. You're not going to be able to do like, you know, like a softer cheese,
Cheddar.
like a mozzarella cheese or whatever, but you can use it for that. I mean, you can use it for that. So
Well, and you can use, like you're saying, the veggie strip maker for the mozzarella or the.
isn't that going away? Isn't that going away? It's going
it is
away.
going
at the
away.
end of the
Oh
month.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
that's been my go-to, but it's going away. So yeah.
Is the close and cut, which is a great.
But no, the closing cut
The closing cut's
thing
not going
it's
away.
going away. It's coming as a set, so it's
With the
gonna
knife.
be sold with the knife. So it's not actually going away.
Yes, the deluxe cooking blender can grate cheese. This is just a very expensive
Parmesan.
cheese
We
grater.
Yeah, not soft cheese. Yeah. Yeah,
So-
you don't want to be throwing that in there.
This is Samantha Thomas. Really quick, there is an entire Facebook group, just so you guys know, already dedicated to this. They have people that have updated menus and stuff over time. So I did put the link up there, but you guys can check that out. There are some old ones from like 2014 and before. That's actually why I started Pampered Chef, was going to do a freezer meal workshop.
Wow.
But that would be a great starting point to update maybe some of those recipes and those already created Word documents.
Yeah.
So,
So there was 8 of them that Pampered Chef did. I still have those in my file. So Pampered Chef did grilling, family favorites, comfort food, easy entrees, soups and chilies, lighten up, grilling in and out, and back to school. So they did a whole bunch of them. Jessica Prophet used to do, what did she used to do? Like weekly, she was pumping those things out like weekly different menu options. And then I think Pampered Chef.
Remember when we started 10 at a time. I started 10 at a time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
30 years ago.
yeah. And power cooking.
Yeah, I like power cooking.
10 at a time became power cooking, which became freezer meal workshops. Yeah, it evolved for sure. So do we have any other questions for Jessica? Because then we can put Kim's gal up too. Anything else, Jessica, you want to share? Questions? Are you guys scrolling?
I have a question, Nancy.
Who's that?
Kim Byland.
Okay, go ahead, Kim.
Christina, how many people do you have in a Zoom at a time typically? Does it matter?
So
Is there a limit?
For these, I've had around 6 people in a Zoom. It really hasn't been too many. I know there was a question about how many people can you fit in a Zoom call. Most Zoom accounts, if you pay for them, is 100. There are some that will do up to 500. I don't pay for that. But I'm not worried about hitting that either. It's really just been like 6. I get a couple of people each freezer meal workshop that can attend live that don't join in. So.
Well, and what's so nice about the fact that you're doing that is if that time isn't good for them, they can come back and watch it at any time when it is good for them. So that's really, really smart. And if for some reason you got sick or something and couldn't do something, you could run that call, couldn't you? I mean, or had a
yeah. That's
I mean, really, that's just brilliant to be able to attach that.
Christina, I have a question. This is Shan, and I am still not wrapping my head around how long you do your Facebook portion of it. Is it for the whole month or 2 weeks and you post every day? How many posts do you do?
So the party link is open as long as it needs to be. I run a 5-day party and I'm running my regular 5-day party template. The only thing I'm changing is my first post that they see. That's my announcement post. I changed that to show the virtual freezer meal information. And then some of my games I have changed to make them a little more related to freezer meal workshops. And then every day I make sure that at least 2 posts talk about that freezer meal workshop and try to encourage people to get their spice orders in. But I run a 5-day template. No matter what kind of party I run, it's a 5-day template.
And do you focus mainly on the tools you're going to use?
Yeah.
When
it's specifically the freezer meal workshop, well, no, it's kind of everything, because my regular party, I run my days in a theme. I have like my prepping tool day, my power tool day, my cooking day, my baking day kind of thing. So they're still seeing everything because I still want them to buy a rock crock, even though they don't need the rock crock at the freezer meal workshop. They might want it for when they're making their meal. So I did, the very first time I started introducing the virtual party side of this, I tried to make it all freezer meal, all just prepping. And I very quickly realized that I was missing the boat by not showing everything to them. I had the audience in front of me. I just need to show them what I show them on a regular party. So, and then I just added in, instead of changing my template, I just added in those couple of posts that relate to freezer meal workshops that give them the information they need to get them there on that day. So,
and what's really smart about that is some people might not want to do the freezer meal at the end of the day. They may just want to be in the party and order products and do their own thing. So you're really serving all that host customers, not just freezer meal customers.
Yeah.
Really smart.
Thank you.
Christina, I have one more question. This is Jamie Waters again. I was curious, could you address as far as at what point in the party, or is this in the documents that you link them to, do you discuss about having their products or their tools that they're going to need for the actual Zoom workshop ready to go? Like what are you recommending? Say like, hey, make sure you have a knife, this, like at what point are you doing that?
So that's not in the party section, the template section, but once somebody orders the pantry products, that's in the information that I send to them separately. So I don't send the grocery shopping list. I don't put that out in the party. I don't put the recipes out in the party. I don't put any of that information they have to know to complete the workshop in the party. I send that to them once they've ordered that package that we put together for the freezer meal workshop. So
Great. That's totally makes sense. But do you have a section in that paperwork that you have put together to tell them about what they need to have and how to be ready for the actual workshop?
yes, so they have their shopping list that says this is the groceries you need for the day of the workshop. And then another page says these are the groceries you need for the day that you prep your meals. And then there's a page that says these tools, I call it their wish list. This is your prepping wish list tools. These are tools that you may want to order or have something equivalent of the pricing kind of thing. So down here telling them what they need for the freezer bags, what they're going to need. And this tells them, I had to reword this because it says before the workshop, prep your meat. Doing this helps ensure food safety since we won't be handling raw meat at the workshop. Well, I took that out because we're not all together cross-contaminating stuff, right?
Right.
But I just let them know, like, prep this and have it ready. This is how I'm going to have mine ready. And then down here, this is the part that I think it's just in a paragraph at the top of the thing where I send to them to say, hey, check through, make sure that you check out the products that are available that I'm going to be using. See if you're going to want any of these products. If you don't want them, make sure you have something that will do the same job. If it's cutting tool, have a knife. If it's, the cutting board, have a cutting board. Have your mixing bowls, whatever it is. So this tells them, and I did update these so mine don't say veggie wedger because we can't sell that anymore. But I think I put quick slice in place for a lot of these, honestly, you guys. Not where the onion is, but in some of the other spots. But the food chopper, the manual food processor, all that. And then down lower, I know that hopefully no one gets sick seeing that fly by. The product wish list. This is where I really tell them, and I went through and I updated mine. I put the page number, here's the item number, what they are, the page in the catalog, which I'm going to have to re-update for March now, and our pricing, and went through and said, these are the tools that I will be using if you want to pre-purchase any of these. But if not, make sure that you have something that will do the job of these tools, kind of thing. Does that answer your question?
Hello.
No.
Yes, thank you so much for all the information. This was awesome. I really appreciate it, Christina.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. It's a big help. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I just didn't know how to pull the trigger on it. So thank you.
You're welcome. You guys, I really have relied on these documents that I found because I'm a huge advocate for if it's not broken, don't fix it. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. This worked in kitchens, so why can't it work on Facebook? We found that our parties worked on Facebook very well. So why can't what we did in the kitchen before with these work on Facebook? So and I'm constantly changing and trying to figure out how to improve this for people, how to make more people want in on it, how to make it better for me, because I have found that I have found a lot of my warm market is already in with a Pampered Chef person, and I'm not a Pampered Chef person stealer. So you know what I'm saying? So
Christina, I just want to confirm, you're showing us the document that you started from, but you
Right.
created your own, and you are not storing yours in Evernote, you're storing yours as a Google form?
I put them in Word document, and then I have my own website just because I have other businesses that I run. I'm a photographer and I run a nonprofit. So I already have a website that I just kind of took a link on. I made a page specific for these people that nobody will find it, and I send them that link. So now they can go to that website and it gives them, boom, everything. So based off of whatever menu, there's I have a menu 1, a menu 2, a menu 3. So
Being that I'm a pretty visual person, I'm just thinking that whoever is going to help Nancy Joe and from Kim Gantz's group, I am sorry that my short-term memory, Jen, somebody, right? But we would want to all update that list, have something that we share to people after an after purchase note is what I wrote down, like an after purchase note, and then an recipe upsell list. So there's 2 pre-party things that you are sending someone.
Yeah. And I send my people, I email it to them. I email them the link. I'll email them all the information, and then I email them the link to that website. Because to me, it's kind of like, I don't know about you guys, like when you're bringing on a new consultant, you might have to say something 4 times before it catches on, kind of thing. I'm trying to give them the information in as many places as possible. So if they're talking to me through Facebook Messenger, I'll Facebook message them the link and email it to them. I always email it to them. And I've only had one person where they put a fake email on their order. And as soon as I said something to her, I'm like, oh my goodness, I emailed you your information, but it bounced back to me. She's like, I lied on my email. Let me give you the real one. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So your website has all your menus in it, and everybody can see all your menus once they go there.
Yeah, each page is like menu 1 has its own web page URL, if that makes sense. It's kind of like
So they can't
like
see
an
all.
outline how they each topic has its own page. I tried doing it in Evernote that way, and people had a problem with being able to print the pages that they needed to put inside the Ziplocs. So then you could definitely do this with Google Forms, where you do a form for them and they print the form out, kind of thing. But I wanted it somewhere where nobody could change the information on me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to fix it. Because it was a ton of work to put it together, to start. So yeah, that's kind of how I've done it. Now it might make sense for you guys to do it a different way. I know every system that I've used, it's worked differently for different people. Some people love Evernote, some people don't. So
Gotcha.
So I want to say this. So I just did some Googling on our PC team training. And if you go there, there's a tab, if you just Google in the search box, freezer meal, there's the freezer meal workshops. Paleo was up there. Someone mentioned paleo in the chat. Power cooking is there. I think these are the original things. I'll look at it. And Nance, probably something that you had created 5 at 5. Remember the 5 at 5?
Yep.
Yeah. So all of those, if you Google that, you'll be able to see, all of those. I don't know which of the freezer meal workshops I have there. I don't think I have anything there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go put it there. Power cooking. I'll have to go look and see if it's there. It's not showing up for me. I can see it coming up there, but paleo, power cooking flyers, power cooking recipes. Okay, beef recipes for power cooking. Okay.
Remember there was chicken, beef, and then I think someone did pork.
Chicken, beef. I don't remember ever the pork one, but that sounds right. Yeah.
Beef, maybe.
There is beef and there is chicken. I
And
see
this is
beef
all
and
in
chicken.
PC team training.
Yeah, this is all on PC team training. So yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
again,
I'll have to double check and.
So awesome. So any other questions?
This was great.
This is amazing.
That is way back. That is a way back, isn't it? Yeah. 5 at 5.
Well, and the thing is, we could really, you could really focus maybe you could do a tester group right now and do it by the end of February, but really you could start everything for March 1 so that you have updated products, updated prices, all the things, incorporating new ideas for the new things, and so that you're not doing something for February and something that's just going to be gone in 2 weeks, so, right? Wouldn't you say that, Christina, a good thing to do would be to get it rolling, work on it, but actually started for March 1st parties, right?
I agree. I would start kind of marketing it out, kind of how I did that poll because I ran that poll in December for a January workshop. I would run your poll now for a March workshop. And once you had people respond, then instantly tag them into what do they need for the March. The first one I hosted myself, and then I've not hosted one since. It's just rolled since then. And also, you guys think about your customer base. What are they? Who are they? What do they like to eat? What do they do? Like, one of my groups is all Optivia meal planning people. And so, you know, figure out how to market to that group specifically on what you're doing. So
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
So what could we do instead of having a website? And maybe just make a group?
How about a Loomtree or Linktree rather?
Linktree. You could
Yeah.
certainly do a Linktree.
Uh-huh.
And you can do the Google, you know, the Google.
Can you do Linktree but lock links that you don't want to just give out?
Oh, yeah.
Probably have to have 3 different link trees, one for each
Yeah.
menu. Right? One for each menu.
But then you're giving,
Well, if you're doing menu 1, you get this link tree information and it's all there, right? If you're doing menu 2, you get this link tree address.
yeah, the
You
only
can't-
other thought that I had was of creating a group, a Facebook group, like a menu 1 group, a menu 2 group, a menu 3 group. And once they actually purchase that, they get put in that group, which has all that information, but lock it for comments.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only other way that I've thought to be able to do this. I've tried Evernote, I've tried emailing it directly. So yeah, I'm open for suggestions on different ways to deliver that. I tried just mailing the packets to people and they weren't getting them. So
With Facebook though, can you put stuff with prices in there? And can you just do it in units then? The documents in units? All my Facebook brainiacs out there. Tell me.
You can't lock the units. That would be the only thing, is that you would still have to make one for group 1, group 2,
Well,
group 3.
no, she's saying to have a Facebook group menu 1, Facebook group menu 2. So you wouldn't have to lock anything, but
Oh, yeah, but put them in units, yeah. The only thing is that source, whatever it is, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a Google, it still has to come from somewhere. So you have to get the information and post it somewhere. So whether it's in a website, whether it's in a Facebook group, it doesn't really matter. You know, an email, it's got to start from somewhere. So you're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to just figure that out, where it's going to start from. Is it going to be a PDF? Is it going to be a document, you know, like a Google Doc or whatever? But something that you can probably update, I would think, because I guess if if product drops or whatever, then you're having to recreate it all over again. You know, if you had it locked in a PDF, unless you have one of those unlocking PDFs, you know.
well, you can create it in a Word document for you and then save it as a PDF to put into the
Yeah,
Facebook
I don't know if a regular PC does that. Mac does, but I don't know if like a regular PC does that. Like if you could, you know, save it as a PDF with the original being a Microsoft Word document.
Laura Teal, does that, doesn't it? You don't know?
I don't know. I've never done it, but I was just, you know, like we're worried about people grabbing things. I just Googled Pampered Chef freezer meal workshops and every menu came up.
Okay.
So I don't know, you know, people that really want it are going to find it. It's not updated. It has the wrong tools. The pricing is wrong, but it's all there. So I don't know that you need to be that crazy about locking it. I mean, right? Hopefully they know you and they're going to come back to you because you're offering that service.
Right.
Good point, Laura. Everything can be had by Google University, right?
That's right.
So I do want to ask Nancy, we need to think about our content for next week, Monday, which is going to be the 22nd, correct?
Yeah, it is.
And so we are looking for a lineup for the next 2 weeks. And Christina, thank you for
I
volunteering.
know. Oh, thank you so much. This was so helpful to so many.
Thank you.
So even if you're not willing to be the speaker, do you have, if you could put in the chat topics that you would like to see us cover next week, Monday?
Right.
That would be great, or the week after. And if you have,
And we still want to talk to Christine, Kim's girl, or Kim, do you think I should talk to her just myself? Can she,
Oh, yeah.
let's see,
Dash.
how do we service younger consultants who are not on Facebook? Virtual host packets, how to overcome Facebook stuff. We need someone who is younger doing Instagram with Pampered Chef.
Instagram would be great, but that's like a whole nother animal. I don't know that we'd be able to cover anything in an hour.
no, we've tried that. You know what? I just had 2 different people this week say to me, these Monday calls are like lifeblood. It's awesome. But they said every week we give so much that could start a whole new business, that just like today, Zoom could start a whole business in a different direction. That let's practice what we're preaching, and let's go into the different topics deeper and see how people are applying them, and see how people are working with them that's working, because we just keep giving out all this wonderful information. It's awesome. But we really do need to revisit certain topics and say, okay, guys, tell us what you did with this. You know, we just had Aaron's training a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what you did with it. You know, so let's not just leave it on the shelf. We tend to do that a lot with Pampered Chef. So let's revisit. Okay, now you just challenged us to do these Zoom parties, Christina. And so, man, we need to check back in a month and say, okay, what have you guys done with it?
Yeah.
You know, maybe that needs to be the last 15 minutes of every call, is to revisit what we learned a month ago, you know, or the last half hour of the call, something like that. Yep. And Laura said, why not ask Anthony to share on new products and how he's going to share on parties, since he's had them for a few months.
That's an excellent idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
I'd
sure.
be
For
happy to
sure.
reach out for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Christina. I really, really appreciate all that you gave us today, and the energy that you gave us, encouragement to go and do this. This is awesome. And it's so, you really organized it beautifully. Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Wait, can I ask a question, Nance? I know this is crazy. And I don't know if anybody uses it, heard of it. I hear so much about it. I think I downloaded it to my phone, and I was like, you know who talked about this? And maybe it was at ExecSem or Empower. She talked about Marco Polo for her team. Is that anybody? You're shaking your head, Christina. Do you use that?
Not for my team, but I'm going to be starting to, especially because Facebook won't let me go live. I can't go live to my team even. I've tried to go live to my team and talk to them about a recruiting boot camp that I'm getting ready to do with them. And every time I go live, all of a sudden Facebook locks up, kicks me out, and I have to like go through the process to get back in.
Yeah.
So Marco Polo is amazing. It's basically like sending video messages back and forth. You can watch it live, but you can't really, I don't think there's a way to interact live like we are. It's just like, here's the video, I send it to you. When I'm done, now you can send one back, kind of thing.
Can you send it to your entire team? Is that the whole idea? So you have to set up a group on Marco Polo?
Yeah, you can have a group of people all kind of like you do group messenger.
Okay.
So you have a whole group of people all on one spot that you send that message out to, just those people.
Okay.
So yeah, but they would all have to load the Marco Polo. It's a free app you can throw on your phone.
Yeah.
I've not used it business wise, but I think it's really smart. I've used it just socially, especially when COVID happened, and with friends that live in Florida, and we'll just video chat.
Instead of using something like Facebook. So instead of using something like Facebook, so not Facebook Messenger, you would use this Marco Polo. So I have it loaded, but I was like, people keep sending me messages. I'm like, what is this? Why they need me to get on with them? You know, it's like another platform. But I know she talked about it, that Melody talked about it. Emily's, you know, senior executive director. And I was like, she goes, we had to ice her out of all these other things so that she would jump on over to Marco Polo. So Marie, sorry. Marie.
Oh, she's muted.
I have to unmute. I was just gonna put in chat. I've been creating a Google document for every party.
Google document.
Supplement my host. So even if their friends are not on Facebook or we're having Facebook issues, at least with the Google document, I have the shopping link for the show, the interactive catalog, a couple of the YouTube videos from home office on the, you know, quick cooker or whatever, and just a couple pictures. What's the gift with purchase, free shipping at $150.
Is it just to your host, Marie? Is it just for your host?
I go in and edit.
Let's see what it looks like. What does it look like?
Oh my gosh. I can share next week. How about that? That will be our top.
Now that you got everybody hanging there, okay.
Yeah, but you know, that's one way to talk about overcoming.
Yeah.
That is one way I supplement and overcome Facebook is having a Google Doc for each party.
Okay.
So I will definitely share that next week, and we can follow up. And
okay, that's
Cora, I will share that next week. You'll have to come back.
Yeah, I mean, she's always back. But Amy, are you having trouble with Aaron's? Kathleen couldn't open Evernote. I don't know how you can't open, because I think it's like
you might need to add Evernote as an app onto her device to be able to open it.
I think you need to, though, Marie. I don't think that you need to open, that you have to have an Evernote to open Evernote.
Michelle Ambrosius and I were both trying to get at the documents because we really were impressed with that last meeting, about her. And we together had tried for hours and we couldn't get in. Well, to get in to print like the documents, like we just couldn't get into to print them. We were in Evernote. We did made us go through all the hoops, to get into it. But like to print something out, we weren't able to get at the document. So if we wanted to share it with our new consultants, like the program that she has where she sends them, do this. So we wanted to try to get into it, make it our own, and then share with our.
Can you just copy and paste it and put it in a, because you can copy and paste.
Wouldn't let me get in there to copy, paste.
You could not access it at all.
No, I could see it, but I couldn't access it. And then
So you couldn't copy and paste, but you could have it up and retype it.
Or do it as take a screenshot.
But it was weird because it was in this like whole little box that was Evernote. It's not like you could see the document, screenshot it, and send it. You know what I mean?
What kind of devices are you using, Kathleen? What kind of device?
I was on my Mac. I have a MacBook.
Really? Do you have
Evernote has a regular?
Do you have the Evernote downloaded to your?
I did, and I tried to do it, and then I tried to do it again, and it just like the two of us were trying to do it to get like she was on her regular because she just has a Dell or whatever. But so it wasn't the computer. I just didn't know if anybody else was having trouble with it. If they
a couple of people said that too. But what if so when you open it, it goes into a browser. Like when you open the link, it goes into a browser, but there's a way that you can add it to your Evernote that you already have on your computer. So it's, you could share.
So I was new to Evernote. I never had it or used it before, but Michelle has, and she said she was getting into Friel's recipes and all that. She just couldn't get into Aaron's. Was the only one she couldn't get into.
Okay.
So I didn't know if anybody else or if there was something locked on that, or I don't know much about
No,
it.
Yeah, that is
New
so
to it.
weird that, where did you get it from? Did you get it from my link that was on our training website?
Yes.
That's crazy, because I just, that link is from her link. Yeah, okay. Huh.
I didn't know if maybe there was something wrong with it that no one realized, or if it's just me. I didn't know where from that, but I loved
Did
it. And
everybody else get it? Just kind of a weird thing, just asking.
everybody else could get it. That's strange.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. All right.
My daughter's
Maybe I'll
kind of,
try and send you a link, Kathleen. Message me and maybe I can personally send you a link and see if that works.
okay. And then I don't see who's talking. Is that Patty?
Yeah, it is, Kathleen. Patty
Okay.
Serino. Find me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's not Nancy Joe Ryan, even though.
Yeah, I knew. I can see Nancy. You're not on my screen for some reason. Okay, I'll message you
Oh,
and
wait.
see if you send it to me directly. There you are. Hello.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Remove spotlight. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There we
Okay,
go.
I'll try to message you and see if we can figure
Okay.
that out.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay.
It could be me. My daughter's techie and she usually helps me with stuff like that. But when Michelle couldn't do it, I thought maybe it was something else. All right, I'll try. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
So do we want to take just 5 minutes and ask Kim's gal to share, or should I just talk with her direct?
Is she on? Is she on?
Well, she was. I don't know if she still is. Kim said that she had brought her on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is she? See if she's still.
Let me just talk to her directly. Let me just talk to her directly.
Okay.
And if there's an update next week, Nance, that would be great to follow up from this week.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
And we have next week, Maria's gonna share.
I'm going to just share that one thing and we will follow up on other things.
And Cora even said she likes it when we ask questions and people answer. And that's true. We brainstorm back and forth. So it was great. Thank you, Christina.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you. What's old is new.
Yes, that part's true.
I know. Go for
it. Great. And we're not freaking out about weather. Praise God for that.
Who's not freaking out? That's because you're in Florida. We're freaking out because we're getting another 12 inches dumped out.
But think about it. All of our parties would have been canceled if we were doing
that's
live
true.
parties.
That's true. But you know what? The Texas people, I know I have directors that actually have no internet. They have no power. It's crazy. And I think somewhere in Texas too. I know. I think Mary got back on, but in Louisiana, I think that people were getting hit with some unusual kinds of weather too. So, yeah.
Easy weather.
Okay. Very good. All right. Marie and Patty, you want to close it out?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was answering other people's questions there. Well, thank you everybody so much. We always appreciate the sharing. And I love Nancy Joe's idea about coming back, circling back and going over some of this stuff, to see what people are doing with it. So I love that because we do share a lot of really good things. And I feel like it's all out there, we do, and everybody shares. So thank you guys so much for that. We appreciate that. Anybody else? Marie, do you have anything else?
I will reach out and already type to Anthony. I will follow up on asking him to be a guest speaker.
Okay.
And I also have another iron in the fire. I am hoping to get Chantel Gossett. She was one of the people in January that had 11 recruits. And so I had wanted to reach out to a top recruiter as a guest speaker.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys also have other people that were top recruiters. So if you have any recommendations, that would be a great topic to add.
Sounds good to me. Thank you guys for everything.
All right, let's wrap it. It's a wrap.
All right, it's a wrap. We've done it. Let me shut this recording off.